Hey, you've opted in for the Over 40s Guide to Healthy Eating. This is going to be absolutely packed with information specific to when you're over 40, you want to eat healthily, and it's going to give loads of tips and you're going to be able to take action from these straight away. So I'm going to dive straight into it, and this is the reasons behind what we're doing here with the guide. So this is me before I took my nutrition seriously, and I was training loads and I was wanting to build muscle, but because I wasn't eating to support that, I was just always wasting my time with the training with that building muscle goal in mind. This is me afterwards when I focused on my nutrition and fueling myself properly. Now, I appreciate not everyone is going to have these muscle building goals. Some are going to have fat loss goals, and that's all absolutely included within this and looking at how you're able to do that. So why are we looking at over 40s rather than just a generic healthy eating plan? Well, realistically, when we're 40, we are busier, we have more responsibilities, we travel more, we have more obstacles in our way than when, say, a 20-year-old who has lots of time, less responsibilities, so they have it a bit easier. So what we want to do is make this as practical as possible so it's easy and you can stick to it. So within this guide, what we're going to have a look at, actually, before I shoot to that, the really important question is it possible to eat well and get lean again in your 40s? Yes, 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 a million times yes. So we have coached hundreds of people with our body transformation program who are in their 40s, 50s, 60s, who have been able to do this. There's that misconception that you can't build muscle after 40 or it's really hard to do it. Nonsense. A few simple things done well and executed well and being consistent has a huge impact. So what we're going to cover to make sure that you're able to then apply all of this is we're going to have a look at the number one ingredient to successful weight loss after 40, essential nutrition info, super simple ways of staying on track while still having a social life. Going to give you some great food swaps, some meal examples, including a full meal plan and a bonus freebie at the end to help you smash your goals. So watch this all the way through, digest all of that information, and then there's some options to take action at the end as well as a bonus freebie. So the number one ingredient to successful weight loss, I do a drum roll but don't have a drum, it's not going to sound all that exciting, but it is effective, and that is building healthy habits. Yep, it's not a cleanse, it's not a fad, it's not cutting out carbs, it's not doing things that are essentially short-term fixes for what has to be a long-term solution, is what you actually want to find. So building healthy habits is going to be the only way that you're going to be able to stick to something long term. Now, where the over 40s part comes in is realistically in life, we're going to have stresses. We're going to have tough weeks. If your kids are sick, you have to stay home. You've got to deal with them. Life will throw things at you that we have to deal with. So if we can build habits that even when shit hits the fan and everything goes crazy and we have a crazy week, that we can still stick to, then all the other times are going to be easy, rather than having a perfect plan which goes out the window when life happens. So one of the things you want to do is practice making good decisions. So there's options here. For example, one of the clients that I coach travels a lot with work. So when he's at airports and he's having to travel, he would have two options. He could either go, well, I can't eat exactly how I wanted to eat and how I plan to eat, so I'll have whatever and pick burger, chips, milkshakes. Nothing wrong with any of these meals, by the way, in isolation, but just in terms of decision making for this process here and our mindset behind those decisions. Or he could go, okay, I can't have what I was planning on having, but what's the best of what is available to me? Oh, great, there's a chicken wrap that I'm going to have, and I'm going to have that with granola and yogurt and fruit or something. So it's rather than the one is, oh, everything's out of my control, to making a good decision of not perfect, but better than what it could be. Great. And that's going to help with those decisions. And that's going to mean that you're not going to rely on willpower as much, because willpower is definitely very flippant and it's not going to be around forever, and it definitely does run out. So instead, practicing those good decisions to make a lasting change. And then planning not to have a plan, really important on this one. It's if you're too plan driven and orientated, when the plan goes out the window, what happens? So setting yourself up so that when you don't have a plan, you are still able to stay on track. That's going to be really important on that. And that mindset shift is going to be really useful. And breathe, I'm speaking very quickly. So, calorie deficit. If you want to lose weight, you need to be in a calorie deficit. Now, the calorie deficit is created when the calories that you burn in a day are more than the calories you consume. So your calories out are composed of these things here. So your essential body functions, your daily movement outside of exercise, calories burned exercise and training, digestion, absorption and storage of food, and your calories in are obviously your food and your drink. So this gives us a really good opportunity here. So food obviously in is one thing to control, but the things as well that we can control are the calories out. And this is why looking at nutrition is great, but also looking at your training and your movement outside of training is going to be important. There's a myth that when we're over 40, our metabolism slow down. They don't, we do. So we get desk jobs, we get promoted, we spend more time in cars, we stop doing activities and hobbies because we don't have as much time. So that is what's causing our calorie burn to slow down, not the fact that we're older. So the good thing about that is we can make different choices. So you can see that movement outside of exercise, 20%, so actually more than your training. So that's why step count, taking the stairs instead of escalator, all those things can have a huge, huge impact. And then onto the food and the drink. So the weight loss made easy is being in a deficit in whatever mechanism works for you. So the most accurate one is going to be tracking all of your calories. Other than that, you can look at portion control, and you could also, some people like intermittent fasting. It's not something I've ever done because I hate being hungry and I need to eat more regularly. But in terms of creating a calorie deficit, for some people, they enjoy that as well. So there are different options within this, and I'll go into all of these in just a second. Now, to make tracking easier to stick to, you could look at it and ignore the numbers. These are just for demonstration. You could have, say you've worked it out and you could have 1,800 calories a day and that puts you into a deficit. You could have the same every single day. Now, if you have, if you wanted to split it differently, so on training days you have more because you're hungry, you could do that and have less on others. Or the social one, which is instead of the Monday to Thursday, I'll eat dust, and then at weekends I just won't track. And actually on the weekends, we far exceed what we think we do. And then we're suddenly not in a deficit over the week. You just want overall the weekly average being 1,800 calories in a day. So I'm more like this one, different numbers because my calories are higher than this, but everybody's different. And this is just purely for example. I will go higher on weekends so I can be more sociable, and then, but it's tracked. Everything is tracked and I know my numbers, and just slightly lower on the other days to account for that extra. So this is how you can make it easier on yourself and not feel like social events are really stressful. They're just factored into your daily week as well, your weekly intake. Okay, and then fundamentals that we need to think about is all of your carbs, your proteins and fats are really important, and they have an impact on what we our energy levels and everything around that. We hear a lot that you have to eat protein, and you absolutely do, and we will be talking about that. But carbs as well, great for energy as well. They're not the enemy. The only thing that they are easy to do potentially is overconsume. So we have too much of them, whereas fats and protein are a bit harder to overconsume on those in the same portion wise. So yeah, it's something to consider, but all are really important. So you've got a shopping list here, which I will you can just pause and take a screenshot of if you want this one, rather than me going through it all. And there are crossovers between some of these, but the main thing that you're looking at in the groups that they are in. Now, when it comes to tracking calories, a app like MyFitnessPal can be really useful. You don't have to do it forever, but actually just being really, really accurate on it, because what we think we have and what we have are always very, very different. I've been caught out with peanut butter where I think I'm having a serving size and actually I'm having triple what I thought I was having, which when something like it's very high in fat like peanut butter is going to have a big impact calorie wise. So tracking is super useful. But if you hate tracking for whatever reason, you're not ready for it, you can do an alternative here where you're looking at a portion control guide. So on your plate, you're looking at making sure you have a palm of protein, fist of veg, cupped hand of carbs, and a thumb of fat. But this is just a guide, and it can depend obviously on BMI and everything with that. You're looking at the 80-20 rule. So if 80% of your calories are coming from good whole food sources, that leaves you with 20% to be more flexible with. So again, I will do this. I eat good, healthy, nutritious foods most of the time, 80% of the time. So that means I don't have to stress at that 20%. Rather than if I was trying to eat good and healthy and whole foods 100% of the time, me having even just 2% of the considered less healthy foods, I'd feel I'd failed. Whereas actually I'm giving myself 20%, like not even buffer, but 20% that I can have, and the same with clients so they can enjoy it. Again, you can take a photo here of easy food swaps that you can look at doing where you're not having to change what you're eating, you're changing the version of what you're eating for higher protein options. And then easy substitutes. And then the meals that we really look at and lean on in our program when we're coaching people is we're going to look at omelets, rice bowls, wraps and stir fries. Why? Because when we're 40, we've got kids, we're working, we don't have much time. I do not have time to spend ages in the kitchen. All of these things allow me to spend 5 minutes. And also different toppings can be put in them. So if different family members like different things, very easy. You're all eating the same, but you can have your different preferences within that as well. So there are some options here. And again, you can screenshot this so you can have these ideas for later to look through. And then again, we've got some meal planning examples that you can look at and either get inspiration from, or you could just try these to start with to give you ideas. And then another meal plan example here. Again, feel free to screenshot to keep for later. And then if you'd like to find out how we help our over 40s clients get in the best shape of their life, okay, you're going to want to watch the next video. This video next. So it's going to give you a real insight into exactly what we do with clients. And from that, you can take it and apply it for yourself. So it will cover training, nutrition and lifestyle, all things that we have used with our hundreds of clients and that you can use yourself. If you would like to find out more about our one-to-one coaching, you can click the link below in the video description, and you can get great results like the people in the photos here and some of our feedback from clients that show you that are all like yourself, over 40, wanting to be fit, strong and energized as well. So that is the guide. Hope you have enjoyed it and got loads of value out of it. Definitely give the next video a watch if you are interested, and also feel free to apply and I will be in touch.